misunderstood, miscalculated, wrongly applied the theories of surrender. That when he said, I have surrendered to you, if he is not applying the same norms of values, he should not have been forgiven. But as our tradition says, 17 times he was forgiven, and then 18th time he won over Prithviraj Chauhan, Muhammad Ghori. And that's how the first Islamic rule started in India. The distortion has started from Ashoka's time. That is, as a state, we are adopting the policy of pacifism. No war. We are for peace. And therefore, we shall not go for war. We will always, compromise. That doesn't work. We are seeing the example of Kashmir and so many examples. It's all too well known. So we shall not go into that. We shall see few more examples of our country. The another example is of Shivaji. In Shivaji's practice, he always followed this both. If it is at Vyashti level, that is individual level, yes, he himself will sacrifice many things. But if it is at Samashti level, it is going to distort or hurt the interest of the nation, the community, the society. Then his approach was different. I will just give two examples. We know that well-known example that he is sitting in his court and a beautiful woman, the daughter-in-law of Subedar of Kalyan, is brought by his soldiers. Because so many Hindu women were carried, were molested, were destroyed. So they thought, why not we take this beautiful woman in the harem of, there was no harem, but we take it to Shivaji, he can use it for himself, and he brings there. When Shivaji Maharaj comes to know that, he feels so sad. But first he does not say anything to his man. He just gets up, goes near to that daughter-in-law, and he says, if my mother would have been so beautiful, even I would have become like that. Then he says, she reminded me of my mother. So, by all honor, with all honor, you send her back. She will go in a palanquin with all the ornaments. Because she has come to her son's house, she will not go empty hands. And that's how she is sent back. Because it was meant for individual enjoyment. And that is why his approach is different. Because the Muslims have destroyed or, ill-treated so many of our women, doesn't mean we will also do that. That's not the right way. But then the second example, when Shivaji went, on the Deccan tour, and that is, he was conquering place after place, forts after forts, and when he reached near Tiruvannamalai, the Muslim ruler there, he knew that he has to now run away from there. What he did, in lot of hurry, he made those two temples as mosque. Immediately idols were broken and the mosque color was given, because in south that red and white straps are there, so completely white color was given, and these two are mosques, like that they made it, and they ran away, because Shivaji never did anything to mosque or Quran or Muslim women. So he thought, now these two things will remain as masjid. That Muslim ruler there thought. But when Shivaji Maharaj reached there and he came to know that, he said, nothing doing. These two will become temples again. Again, the Shivalinga was consecrated there. Shivaji Maharaj waited there. The pujas were conducted. People started coming. The pujari was appointed. He saw to it, it became a functional temple. Both the temples became functional, and then Shivaji Maharaj left from there. He proceeded further. That is, the pacifism cannot be his only approach, because society is multi-layered. In society, everyone is at different levels of human progress, at different levels of consciousness. Everyone cannot be so spiritual. If everyone is spiritual, maybe that is possible, that you can change each one's heart. But when you are representing a collective, you are representing a society, at that time you cannot have such approach that we shall not retort back. We shall not resort to violent acts. We have to do that. Taking another example, the same thing, what question came in the mind of Ashoka. That is, so much bloodletting has taken place, and therefore I shall not resort to war hereafter. There will be no wars hereafter, and that's what he started. Ashoka started that same question. What all question had come in his minds had come in the minds of Arjuna. Only difference is, for Ashoka it was after the war, for Arjuna it was before the war. And great fortune was that along the side of Arjuna there was Sri Krishna. To tell him how should be our approach in a society, when self-defense is equally important, when we are protecting certain civilization, certain dharma, and at that time our individual likes and dislikes or feelings should become immaterial. And that's why the whole Bhagavad Gita is there. We are not going into Bhagavad Gita, but one thing Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, it's very beautiful thing. He says, Yudhyasva vigata jvara. He says, fight. But how? Vigata jvara. Not with hatred in the mind. But this is the duty. You are doing it in the larger interest of the society. If you are clear about that, you will not be doing it with the hatred. You will do it as a duty. Yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. And same Bhagavan Sri Krishna after the war, he says, go and fall at the feet of Dhritarashtra, at the feet of Gandhari. Even before the war, he asked them, go and fall at the feet of your Guru and everyone. It's means when the vision of oneness is there, as for example a diabetic patient, when he cuts his toe which has become gangrene, he does not happily does that, oh, this toe has become a problem for me, just cut it off. He doesn't say it happily. He is very unhappy, but he does it because he has to protect his body. It is that sort of spiritual establishing ourselves at that level, our approach should be, which then will not lead to lot of painful memories later. Once I was attending in Jaipur one international conference. It was organized by Global Peace Initiative by Women, GPIW. Its founder is one Dana Merriam, and she had organized it in Jaipur. The title was To Bring the Divine Feminine Back. That was the title. And many things went into that, but one thing what I saw was there were different sessions. That is listening to the voice of Asia, then in which Pakistanis and Afghanistanis sat, or listening to the voice of Palestinians, then Palestinian and Jews were sitting. Then listening to the voice of China, then Chinese and Tibetans were sitting, and they all will tell about their problems, how China has treated us, how Israel is treating us, the Palestinian will tell, then Jews will tell what Palestinians are doing, and like that it was. I found such tremendous hatred, tremendous dislike, and so much so that they cannot even smile, look at each other and smile. And then I was wondering, as Will Durant has told, that the bloodiest period in human history is the Islamic period in India, and yet somewhere our psyche is unaffected. Of course, we should not forget what has happened to us. To that extent, we should be aware. Only then we will be more practical in our approach to that. So that was in that GPIW. This was one experience that. If it is Yudhyasva Vigata Jvaraha, we will do what we have to do, but it will not lead to continuous, bad blood or animosity or, as we say, the permanent hostile relations.